In that period, there were 15 attempts to form government. They all failed. Even when the transitional federal government was established in Mogadishu, it was only a few blocks in Mogadishu. When I took over in August last year, I ran deep into another crisis. This was between the president and the prime minister. So my first assignment was to reconcile the president and the prime minister. The government of that prime minister fell. So we had to form another government. And I said, I'm beginning on a clean slate. I have a government. Let's get moving. We have 9 months before the end of the transition in July. I was optimistic. But then a new crisis developed between not the prime minister and the president, but the president and the speaker. For 6 months, there was total paralysis. The speaker and the president couldn't even establish eye contact. Time was ticking. July is the end of the transition. Mr. Mahiga, do something. The Security Council came to Nairobi on the 25th of August. Do something. I said, what is the something? Get them to talk and resolve on how to end the transition. The dispute was whether to have elections in that July to finish the transition or to extend the period by 1 year. I tried with the help of President Museveni, and we got what we call the Kampala Accord. This was an agreement between the Speaker and the President to break the political impasse, and they started talking. But the price of that was two. One was we need a new government, because the new prime minister had failed politically to bridge the gap between the executive and the legislature. In fact, he was one of those who said, let us dismiss parliament. And parliament was saying, we are going to impeach the government. And we are heading to a situation where we are going to have two governments in Mogadishu. A government of President Sharif that refuses to leave, a government by parliament that was going to be elected. And what do? We succeeded to make them talk, and we postponed or deferred the elections and gave ourselves 1 year. But in that change of government, there was another positive thing. We have agreed on a roadmap. What do we do in these 12 months? The transitional tasks that were never accomplished before now have to be distilled from 18 to 4. And let us make sure that this roadmap, this time around, is not just between factions, but it's signed by the people and the major stakeholders of the political process. This is the significance of the roadmap, which was signed on the 6th of September, not in Djibouti, not in Bagati, but in Mogadishu, for the first time in 20 years. And the signatories was not only parliament and the executive, but regional entities as well. And we are bringing in the process the civil society. It is a Somali-owned process that is representative, with a focus on 4 main areas: security, constitution making, political outreach and reconciliation, and good governance and governance. But the importance of this, unlike Bagati or Djibouti, is that it is all-inclusive. In the 20 years, there is a groundswell among the Somalis. of demanding the end of transition and the participation in politics. The diaspora is a generation old, with professionals and well-organized. It is part of that groundswell. The leadership, as expressed by the Kampala Accord, knows now it cannot procrastinate. So the convergence of a Somali groundswell and a realization by the leadership is what is captured in the roadmap. And that's why, to me, that is optimism. What is the second source of optimism? It is the security situation. For the first time, Mogadishu is no longer 2 blocks or 3 blocks controlled by the TFG. It is 95%. The 5% are really pockets of the Shabab who didn't withdraw on the 6th of August because they come from Mogadishu. And the AMISOM is very optimistic that it is a mopping up operation that can secure the rest of Mogadishu in a few weeks. Of course, if the remaining 3,000 troops are deployed, and that's the message I conveyed to the Security Council, and deployed expeditiously. But it's not only Mogadishu that is being secured. There is a swath of territory from central to western and southern Somalia, bordering Kenya and Ethiopia, which has been secured by militias allied to the TFG. These developments spell optimism as well. Why did the Shabab withdraw? The war that has been going on in Mogadishu has been a conventional warfare. AMISOM deployment was literally a bridgehead in the true sense of the military word. Not even a block landed at the airport and at the port. And they have been fighting, inching forward in a war of attrition. Chapter 7, flexible rules of engagement, but frankly, that has been peace enforcement. The TFG has been training its troops, getting close to 10,000, but you train them with the help of the European Union in Bihanga or in Kenya or in Ethiopia. Literally, you bring these boys straight from the training camps to the front line. They have no command, they have no control, they have no initiation, whatever. Everything is on the front line, and that war has been going on. Shabab has been